Hello, everybody. It is great to be here one more time today. My name is Gary Fowler, and I'm the CEO, President, and Founder of GSD Get Shit Done Venture Studios, a premier AI and quantum venture studio located in the heart of Silicon Valley. I'm a 17-time serial entrepreneur with several unicorns under the belt. I was on the original management team at Click Software, which was sold to Salesforce for $1.35 billion, also Eva.ai, an AI HR tech company. We believe at GSD that intellectual capacity is evenly spread around the world, but opportunities are not. I'm also the co-founder of Runday AI, an AI company that's changing the way we look at sales and changing the way we look at customer service. With that, I got my incredible guest and a good friend of mine, Ron Lewin. I've known Ron for over 25 years. He's a serial entrepreneur, has built companies all over the world. His last company exited with 700 employees. And so it's great to have him on board today. And we're going to be talking about generative AI, how enterprise can use it, how companies can benefit, and how we can make this world a little bit better place. Okay, Ron, how you doing today?
Great, Gary. How are you?
Good. It's been a long time. No see. So tell us a little bit about how did you get involved to be an entrepreneur? Tell everybody about that, because these startups all over the world are trying to figure out how do they do it, Ron?
I think it's actually in my DNA. My father had his own business, and I helped around in his business while he was growing it. And then I started to get involved in computers. And when I was, 13, 14 years old, got a job in a computer shop. And after that, kind of started doing my own thing. Realized that I could do some really interesting things with the technology and helping people. And from there, it just kind of grew and grew. And so I know that there's a lot of people who work in large enterprise, for example, who then maybe feel that they need to try their hand in being an entrepreneur. And likewise, there are people who try running their own business, being an entrepreneur, and then move the other way into business. I mean, working for somebody else, or maybe working for a public organization. So it's something that I think in some ways everybody can do, and people should try doing it. But there are people who just feel that it's right for them. And for those people who feel that it's right for them, it's just no other way, basically, to live.
So how did you go down through when all the challenges? I know you started business over in Eastern Europe. So what did you do? How did you work with the challenges that when there was a dark day, right? You had to make payroll, and you were wondering how you were going to make payroll. How did you go down through and deal with that as an entrepreneur? How do you go down through and turn those dark days into bright days?
Well, I started my business in Canada, actually, and we expanded into various places in the world, and Eastern Europe was where we had, I think, our biggest, fastest growth. And when we were expanding, I really kind of pushed the edge of it, and sometimes we came close to, for example, not being able to make payroll. One of the mottos of my business from the start was problem solvers. It was there in my logo. So it said the name of the company, and under it, problem solvers. And that was something that grew out of my approach to how I did things. And that was having to solve problems, having to make things work. And that's about how we worked with our customers, that we solved their problems and we made solutions for them, for their problems. It was about how we worked internally with each other in the company, in dealing with our internal processes and our internal problems and dealing with each other. And it was also my personal approach to working, which is that when problems happened, I needed to find solutions. And creative problem solving is necessary. If you're going to work for yourself, you really have to be able to see problems that you might not realize. And, this times when, for example, we couldn't make payroll, or, well, we always made payroll, but there was a challenge in doing so. It meant going out and finding different things that we could do to make it happen. borrowing money from somebody if we had to, getting bank credits, working with customers, maybe extending a discount to them to pay us early, for example. I mean, this wasn't something that happened often, but in 30 years of business, when you push the edge on growth, it happens sometimes, and you find a solution.
So what's the secret sauce? You could say three things that you need in order to build a company that you can exit. What are those things? What are the three key ingredients for an entrepreneur to be successful?
Well, the first one is definitely people. So if you're building a company, that means you're building an organization, and an organization is people. And so you've got to be able to recruit the right people, people who you feel good working with, people who feel good working with you, and helping them grow and motivating them. Leadership, it's all, that's by far the most important thing, because any performance is connected with the people and connected with the leadership and the goals, and being sure that everybody is aligned on the goals and working together. So all the issues around people, around hiring people, motivating people, aligning people, helping people to perform, changing people when you need to change people, definitely number one in the list. Number two in the list is, I would say, perseverance. So dealing with the challenges that happen, learning from your failures, making sure that you and everybody in the team has the potential to grow and to be motivated despite the fact that things aren't always going right, and really reveling and getting energized by when they are going right. And then finally, well, put I'm gonna tie. I'm gonna give four things really. I'm gonna have a tie for third place. Uh, the customers. So making sure that you understand the product market fit of your product, that you're making your customers happy, that you understand your customers, whether those are continuous customers who are coming back to you over and over, or these are customers that are one-time customers. But basically working with your customers, working with your market, being sure that you make them happy, and that you're maximizing the value you get from them. The value means not only the money that they are paying for you, but the ability to use them in networking, to help you find new customers, to be to really help you grow your organization. And then the other one that's tied for third place is about processes and building a resilient organization. So it's hard really to find the right balance between the bureaucracy that you need to have in an organization to kind of keep it on the rails, the policies, the procedures, and the flexibility to ensure that the organization can adapt and doesn't become hamstrung with bureaucracy, and can innovate and grow. And so this kind of organizational balance between structure, policies, and procedure, and flexibility, and giving people the authority to make decisions and be responsible for decisions is the other important piece of growing an organization that you can then basically exit from, if that's what you want to do. And I'm not sure that everybody out there wants to exit. If you're, maybe it's a family business that you want to pass over to the next generation. Maybe you just want to grow and retire and be chairman of the board for the rest of your life. Or maybe you want to exit, maybe merge into a larger organization and continue to serve in the organization, there are lots of different ways that that the future of the business can play out. And an exit doesn't have to be the penultimate solution.
So let's go down through the topic. The hot topic of the day is generative AI, right? So you built your company, you went down through and persevered, you changed people, which, sometimes it's hard for people to make decisions to move somebody in and somebody out or move into another position. But what about generative AI? Let's talk about generative AI in sales, to be able to help sales, generative AI and customer service. What is going on today with generative AI, and where do you see it playing? And then in apps, right? In these all-in-one apps that are out there that can change things. What's it look like today?
Well, every company has to have a strategy right now for AI and Gen AI. And it's important to recognize also that there are different kinds of AI out there. There's machine learning and there is algorithmic AI, dealing with data, predictive AI. Gen AI, though, is the one that is probably the most impactful now for sales and customer services organizations, because it can help you to ensure that you're delivering. Well, it can help you to qualify customers. It can help you ensure that you're delivering good service to your customers. It can help you to automate sales processes. What it can't do is it can't replace personal connections, and personal connections are critical for some kinds of sales. Whether that part of the sale is, the interpersonal, what happens interpersonally in a retail establishment, for example, or it's part of the sales process for a 9-month sales cycle for a $500 million contract. All of these things really depend on interpersonal skills and building relationships. But what Gen AI can do is it can help automate processes within the sales activity that will allow you to free up some time and some resources for building the personal relationships. So we all understand that every organization has limitations on its resources. You can't have people to do everything every time. You don't have enough money, etc. So you have resources. You've got to allocate these resources in the most effective ways. And using Gen AI, you can, for example, qualify leads coming in out of SEO campaigns, for example, and start some like early engagement process, and then feed the leads into the right people who can then build the relationship, or who can orchestrate different types of agents into different processes to help develop a sales lead. So Gen AI has the capability to really allow us to use our resources most efficiently.
Yeah, and the thing is, it gives us superpowers, doesn't it? It allows us to be able to do things we normally wouldn't be able to do, because we have the challenges of infobesity. Whether you're a customer, whether you're a company, whether you're an investor, the challenge we have is infobesity coming at us from all different angles. And so in the sales process, one of the things we look at is things like hyper-personalization. How do we get close to that customer so that we understand that customer, kind of like your grandmother that loves you and cares about you? In fact, I just wrote an article that's in Medium, taking Carl Rogers and B.F. Skinner's models and applying it to technology, to generative AI. These models are critically important, because if we don't have empathy and compassion and can't really understand somebody from the inside out, it's really difficult to sell them. You got to sell them from their own experiences. So you're right about it. And the other thing is, in a hybrid model where you're able to go out and to be able to have real salespeople to follow up, having that front end that can help us, kind of like a hyper intelligent assistant is going to be important. The companies that are out there today, if we look at it, if they don't have AI, they're not going to be around. In another 5 years, if you don't have an AI strategy, I think you'd agree, Ron, it's going to be a challenging situation for all of us.
In 5 years, you'll be lucky if you'll survive 5 years. If you'll survive 3 years without an AI strategy, you'll either be acquired for your customer base by somebody who has a better strategy, and or you'll be driven into the ground. So I agree with you 100%. And what you're saying about personalization is really important, and that's, I think, the real strength now of Gen AI is it can very quickly understand the personal needs of somebody, especially when it's a customer that you're working with over and over. And it's a kind of business that is driven by personalization, concierge style business, for example. Understanding the needs of the person and being able to deliver according to those personalized needs is a really, really valuable benefit of using Gen AI today in the sales process.
Well, I mean, you're going to see the evolution of apps. You're going to start to see these super apps come out that combine, whether it's Amazon, LinkedIn, Facebook, and Expedia into one, so you can do incredible things in an intelligent kind of way that's hyper-personalized for you. So if you're flying out to California to San Francisco, to be able to go to San Francisco, your friend that you know from Toronto's out there, Luke Jones, and Luke goes out and meets with you at the sauna out there, and you go out and have some tea, and then go out and have a beer and talk and those kind of things. But these experiences, the problem is we have so much data, it's hard for us. It's hard for us to figure out what flight we need to take, what seat we want to have on the plane, whether the sushi's available at this particular restaurant that we like. So these next generation super apps are going to change everything. And it's going to be, Sam Altman just said, Ron, a couple of months ago, that they actually have a bet in Silicon Valley who's going to build the first one-person billion-dollar company.
Mm-hmm. And in theory, it can be done by somebody who has the technical skills to mobilize AI resources, or hire companies. Basically, it'll be somebody who hires companies to build all of the different technical resources to achieve that. But it'll have to be somebody with the vision to understand how it all fits together. And that's why understanding AI today is so important, because even if you're not a technical person, you have to understand the capability. And that's what we're doing today in the GSD AI advisory services, is helping executive teams and executive leadership understand what they should be doing with AI, how it's going to impact their business, how it should be transforming their company, what are the strategies that can work and not work for them, what are the low-hanging fruit, and then how to implement that. And especially in looking at the HR issues with that, when you asked me before about what are the 3 things that are the most important, I started with people. And when companies today are implementing, I mean, let's forget for a second about this one-person billion-dollar company. The fact of the matter is that there are millions of organizations and companies out there that are going to be implementing AI into their existing organizations, and that's going to have a huge impact on the people, because people will have to learn to be working together with the AI, harmonizing the relationship with the internal resources and the external partners of the company, with the AIs that they're acting with also. And then there are going to be people who are going to be displaced by the implementation of AI into the company, and helping those people to find a new place inside or outside the organization. This is the most important thing to how a company is going to succeed in implementing AI. So having partners, executive leaders need to find partners that can help them with that. Ideally, they have internal people. If they don't, then they can come to people like myself to help them with that. and we'll help them to grow their team and bring people into the team who understand AI and can help them set the strategic direction and the important initiatives that they have to undertake to ensure their success.
Yeah, you're right about it. I mean, they don't know what they don't know. People are talking about it. They don't see this tsunami coming in of opportunities. It's going to wash them away if they don't do a great job and if they don't start building those strategies today. And it's
Well,
not.
they see the tsunami coming. Most people, I think, see the tsunami coming, but they don't understand it and they don't know what to do. And in many cases, they are deer in the headlights.
Deer in the headlights. That's right. I've heard that a long time ago in Pennsylvania. We used to say that all the time, deer in the headlights. So, closing thoughts. So, for those folks out there, that are in different industries, Ron, the whether they're in supply chain, whether they're in the consumer products, whether they're in automotive manufacturing. So, how fast? Just curious, how fast do you think they need to act to get into this AI opportunity in order to be able to succeed? How quickly do they need to get out there and develop a strategy?
Well, everybody should be working on a strategy now, really. It's, I mean, you will survive for some time if you don't have a strategy. But as I said earlier, you will either be acquired or driven into the dirt. It's just the normal sea change in the economy. I mean, I say normal, but it's a fast one. But there have been many revolutions, economic industrial revolutions, in the last few centuries, and the companies that adapted them and leveraged them succeeded and grew very fast, and the ones that didn't understand them failed. And you can see that just in the last 10, 15 years with, I'm not going to name names, but there are technology companies out there who were giants 15 years ago and are not even on the map anymore because they just didn't understand what was happening with the internet, for example, with new search technologies, all kinds of things, and telecoms, VoIP. There's a million changes that have happened over just the last 20 years, and companies today, they can basically they can be successful by learning about the technologies and implementing them and transforming their businesses based on them, or they can fail.
Well, that's it. They either do or die. So that's a great point. Ron, what's the best way for people to get a hold of you?
Well, they can send me an email, ron@gsdvs.com, or give me a call. I'm actually pretty available on the telephone. I'm answering the telephone when it rings, when I'm not in a call or in a in a podcast like this. So just give me a call at area code 202-758-8619. I'm happy to talk and share stories, share inspiration, and share experience.
I'm sure you're going to get it. We have people all over the world that listen to this show. And I'm sure you're going to get
I'll be happy if people call me, actually.
Yeah, you have an uncle that's located in some country that just left a fortune.
I've been getting those calls for years. I normally tell them to call you.
So appreciate you taking your time out of your busy schedule today. Thanks a lot to all my audience out there. Thank you for joining one more time. Runday Presents. My name is Gary Fowler, and I'm your host. Stay happy, stay safe, and stay healthy. We'll be back to you again soon with another exciting edition. Take care, everybody. Appreciate it, Ron. Thank you.
I enjoyed it, Gary. Take care.